Okay.
This stuff just jumps in my head.
Oh, okay.
You have no idea the weird crap that jumps into my head sometimes.
Oh, no. So, how you doing?
I am great.
Good, good. Me too. Had a bit of a storm last night.
Yeah, well.
Of course, I was driving to Plymouth. It seems whenever I drive to Plymouth, we get storms, so... Yeah, I had to get my dad, and I took him to cards for the first time.
Oh, good.
In a few months, so, yeah.
Well, did he win anything?
He lost.
Did you?
I won.
Good. You have no idea how lucky this woman is in cards.
Yeah, I am pretty lucky. Knock on wood.
The same wood.
There's particle board inside of it.
Okay, well then we're
Just
good.
a little formica on top. It's not even, because look at how thin it is. It scratches right off. It must be like wood with
But as
paper
long
on
as
top.
these have been in here, they don't look bad.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, really.
Yeah, everything in here now is 6 years old. It's over 6 years.
You know, I mean,
we've been
if it
here.
was, really, well, how shall I say, cheap crap, for lack of a better word. If it was, it would look a lot worse. Because we use this thing all the time.
Yep.
You know, so.
And there's needles involved.
And there's needles involved, yes.
So you're not wearing any knitwear?
I'm finishing. Yeah, I didn't finish anything this week. Okay, she's wearing her sweater.
I'm wearing my sweater. I showed it to you last week, but now it's blocked. I got my
beautiful.
little rolled hem. This is like the basic recipe is from Ann Budd's Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters. And I just modified the raglan here to put in a little cable detail. And then that rolled hem. But otherwise, yep, everything is from that Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters. My favorite recipe.
Yeah, well, and I have that book. And I have, she's got 3 of them, I think, that are like the recipe kind. There's the top-down sweaters, knitwear, Handed Book of Knitted. It's just got everything in it. It's got mittens, hats.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the name of it. And gloves.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that's regular sweaters, like a pieced sweater. And, if you want to knit yourself just a basic sweater, man, that book is amazing.
I recommended it to Mona because she likes to always add her own cables or put an edging on. I was like, you should just have a basic recipe book. Why bother looking and looking for
that's
all
true.
these things when you're just going to change them?
Yeah, and Mona's really good at changing patterns.
I know, like from the very first day she started knitting, she was changing them.
Yeah, okay. Yep. And me, I'm a pattern follower from the get-go. I shouldn't say that. I do modify, but I don't really modify design elements. I modify for size, I modify for shaping, I modify for length. I modify in many ways.
Yeah.
But I don't usually modify for design elements because generally speaking, I pick the pattern because of said design elements. So I don't see a need to.
Yeah.
I mean, could I? Well, sure. And if I was going to knit something out of the top-down sweaters, there are times where, I could see throwing a cable in, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So do you have any other FOs?
I didn't finish anything this week.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about our knit-along.
Okay.
We're doing the Recalibrate as a knit-along. Do I have a picture of it handy? Let me see. There must be a picture in here.
Yeah, there is. Oh,
I don't think I have all of it. I think half the pattern's over there.
Example. There.
Oh, okay.
It's really small.
Okay, that just has the sizing on, so that's okay to show. So there's 2 different views, couple different sizes. So we're doing the Recalibrate as a knit-along with the shop, running for 6 weeks, August 1st through September 15th. And we're both working on one.
Yes, we are.
Show yours first, and then we'll talk about mine.
Ta-da. Okay, so when you knit this, you create your center panel and you create your back panel. Then you pick up along the edges of your center panel and knit outward to get the vertical stripes. So I have my vertical stripes all done. And then after you've got your vertical stripes done on on one side. I did the vertical stripes on both sides right away. I think the pattern calls for you to finish one side and then finish the other side. But you can do them out of order. There's really no reason why you have to do one side before the other. I'll be honest with you, I wanted car knitting, and that's why I did it. Because this is pretty much no-brain car knitting kind of knitting. And this way I had, I didn't want to be working on a side panel on the car, only because it was going to go quick, you know, and so, yeah. So now I'm ready to do my side panels, and you start out with a provisional cast on, which I've got on my needle, and then you're going to take and knit up the side, but as you do that, you're going to knit two together on the edges with one of the live body stitches. So this is where I'm at. I will have this off the needles probably tomorrow, for sure. If not today, for sure tomorrow. So I will have knit this thing literally in 8 days, because I started August 1st.
I knew you'd do it in under 2 weeks, because my sample went pretty quick too, even with the limited amount of knitting I could do. Boy, my voice is froggy today.
So yeah, and then the thing is, you can make this like the color, because it's modular. You can make your colors anything. So my side panels are going to be the aqua again, and then I think I'm going to do my neckband in the aqua, and then then my sleeve, it's just a little bit of garter edging on the sleeve. You can stripe it, you can do it plain. I am going to make mine gray. I'm going to pull out the gray, and then I'm going to make my bottom band. That's also going to be gray.
Okay.
Yeah, I decided to, you know why? Because I didn't bring it along, but all right. This is what I've got left of my first skein of gray.
Okay.
And so I've got slightly more of that in black. But if I do any of these bands or sleeves or something in the black, I may run out, and that's all I got. Okay. I have another skein of this. So
okay.
I think and I of course have, I started with a full skein of this. So I have plenty of this. You need a couple minis really.
Right.
You know, to do and the thing is that you could do the front in one color, the back in another color, and the sides in a third color, or not. So, I mean, the options. And so it's great stash buster. Use some leftovers for your panels, for your side panels.
Right.
And then, I don't know, stripe the rest of it however you want.
Yep.
So
now mine, if you all remember, I had this yarn that I wanted to match, and it took me forever to come up with a color I liked with it, and it was this one is what I came up with. So then I knit my front panel, and then I wound this yarn, and look at how thin this yarn is. I was like, I cannot knit that on a size 7 needle. Change of plans.
Oh no.
Yeah, look at it.
Well, it is thin. I mean, I like the yarn, but yeah, it's thin.
Yeah, it's an LRA. So I'm gonna put that aside and mix it with a mohair and make hats for my grandkids.
Oh, that'll work.
Hats and mittens.
Yeah.
So then I went and I found this Rainbow Beach, and that's what I'm gonna mix with it.
That'll work.
I don't know. It's kind of dark in there, but yeah. So I made a little swatch because I wasn't going to use the blue at all. I wasn't going to do this striping. I was going to do it solid because this was so busy. So then I had to come back and decide. So I did a little swatch. The bottom half you can see is just the green. The top half has the blue and the green in its striping.
So you know, like on the camera, I don't think you can even see the striping.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted striping that blends. So the striping is the look I like. So now I have my front panel in blue. Oh, I got little markers in there. I marked every 20 rows. So it was easier.
I had fun counting them every time.
Well, I hate counting them every time. Twice is
I don't
fine.
mind.
After that, it drives me nuts. So, and then I started my back panel with the Rainbow Beach.
Okay, so you're just doing these two colors?
Yeah.
Or are you going to have a pop?
I'm only going to have 2 colors.
Cool.
Because I wanted mine more subtle. That other one I made really bright.
Yeah, mine's kind of funky and bright.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's with the black and the turquoise, it's kind of loud.
But when you look in this, you can't see it very good on there. But there's yellow, green, and blue, and a gold.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's
a little brown in there over here too.
Sure.
There's a lot of colors in this.
So you started, and this is your center panel.
That's the back one.
That's the back one?
My front one is the blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the bottom, that's the top.
Well, what's kind of cool about this sweater, too, is that it's knit at such a loose gauge that it's done. I mean, I cannot believe how fast this went. It's a loose gauge.
Well, you barely have more than one full skein in there right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why.
Yeah, but my skeins are 463 yards.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot of yardage on these, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm using leading men. I love leading men.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have beautiful drape. And so this is going to kind of hang pretty loose on me. And it can be worn fitted. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing about it. I mean, I've seen this on many different people because she had many different people wearing it at the ZK at our retreat in June.
Yeah.
And so we saw this sweater on so many different body types and realized anybody can wear this thing. Mm-hmm. So I think...
And I seen them changing. Like one day, one person would wear one and the next day they'd swap. Mm-hmm. And so then you seen the same exact sweater on two different bodies.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yep.
So I have got a pair of black walking shorts, and I can't wait. So I'm going to wear that next podcast. I swear this thing's going to be off the needles. If not today, tomorrow, and it'll be blocked, and I'll be wearing it next weekend.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot I have another FO.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What the heck?
Sewing.
Okay.
You know, I make all the project bags, and I always cut out the little corners before I sew them.
Okay.
So I have a whole bucket of 1.5 inch squares and another bucket with 2-inch squares, depending on which size project bag. So I took the 1.5 inch and I sewed a little pin cushion. And I filled it with walnut shells, so every time you stick the pins in, it helps sharpen them. But these are my cutoffs from my project bags I make. And I made one for you.
Oh, you did! Oh, I love it! Thank you.
You're welcome.
She knows I'm a budding young quilter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can stick it full of pins.
I'm going to, because I was sitting there thinking, gosh, I sure hope she makes more of these.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
got enough of these little squares to make 100 more.
Okay, I bet it's rather tedious making 100 of these babies, but...
Well, a lot of them were already paired up because after I cut them off, sometimes when you're sewing, I'd use 2 of them to, like, run my needle off.
Okay.
So I have a lot of them sewn in pairs or even 4s already.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if you just take 4s and make them into 16s, that's pretty easy.
I love it. Thank you. Cora's going to be so jealous.
Yeah.
She's got one of, the tomato ones that you buy that
yeah.
And she thinks that's pretty cool, and she likes putting her pins in it.
Oh, yeah. It must be a little kid thing, because Luke, too, he's got all my pins sorted by color and size
no kidding.
In my pin cushion, the one that's on my sewing machine. So I have one of those pin cushions that have a garbage bag hanging from it.
Sure.
Yeah, so they're all sorted by color and size on that pin cushion.
Wait a minute. A pin cushion with a garbage bag hanging on it?
Yeah, haven't you ever seen those?
No.
They're made out of like a sand pin cushion. The pin cushion's about this big, and then out of the front of it is just a cloth bag hanging. And they take, like, those straps around around packages you get?
Yeah.
Those plastic yellow. They take a piece of that and put it in the top hem of the garbage bag, so it's always open. It stays open about this big around. It's always hanging there, right at my right hand.
All her thread snipped off. All the threads you snip off go right in the garbage.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I usually just make a pile to the right of my sewing machine.
Yeah, this is nice. I've had this bag probably 10 years at
Oh,
least.
that's just way too clever. You
And-
gotta learn to figure out how to make those.
Oh, I could, yeah. Except for at the sewing basket, they were selling them for $10.
Oh,
The
well.
girl who owns it, her mom made them. And she was saying it's Arizona sand, so I'm guessing her mom goes to Arizona
Probably.
every winter. Yeah.
Walnut shells work pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the last Homely
like
House.
where did you get walnut shells? Do you buy these?
I bought them from Amazon. Amazon, of course.
Amazon's got everything, man.
Yeah. So I think I paid $14 and got a box about this big of walnut shells.
These are awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to take that home.
I'm gonna put mine in the English paper piecing tray I have. I have like a little wooden tray I keep all my stuff in, so it's portable. So it's going in there.
Cool. You know, it's getting to be fair time. I was thinking about that. Sewing machine.
Oh yeah, he always does sewing machine specials at the
Yeah,
fair.
at the fair. So I am going to
Yep.
go to the fair, and I'm going to have a long talk with this guy. I might have to go without Ron, though.
Yeah.
Because Ron won't have the patience unless, well, it is close to a beer stand and a band,
Yeah.
where he's usually in that building.
Yeah. When I first started going, he was out in a tent.
Right.
But the last couple of years, yeah,
He's been inside
in the inside building.
You know, obviously, it's the first weekend of August, so it's Brat Day weekend in Sheboygan.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely wonderful. Okay, it's just Brat Days. I'll be honest. And we went down last night. My husband he's a sponsor, and so we always go down to the sponsor tent and whatever. And we'll probably go down tonight again. Hopefully the rain will hold off and not be like last night's storms. I mean, last night the storms came through at a terrible time and everything was soaking wet down there and that. But there was a good crowd, and that was
good.
really, really good to see. And it just felt so normal. And Pat McCurdy was playing, and I love Pat McCurdy. And he said that he has not played anywhere for almost 2 years. He hadn't been in Sheboygan. The last time he played in Sheboygan was in 2019. You don't really think about that, you know? And it's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But it was wonderful. You know, and I guess the good news is it was outside. It wasn't people like jam-packed close to each other or anything like that. But it just felt normal.
Good.
You know, and I just think, okay, we'll go down again tonight. And tomorrow is another event we go to every summer. And we look forward to it, which of course was canceled last summer too. The Liars Club Pavement Dance. And, you know, these are just things that
Where
were
is that at?
on 12th and Swift in Bumps,
Okay.
by Bumps Bar there. Okay. They close
12th
Swift
Street?
Avenue from
Okay.
12th Street to 13th Street.
Okay.
And they got a polka band, they got a beer tent, brats, whatever. The Liars Club meets at Bumps.
Okay.
And the Liars Club, it's a charitable organization. And this is their big fundraiser. And they do stuff, like some of the things I know that they've done, it's like they've bought equipment for the handicapped kids that like to be used at James Madison School. So like extra things that wouldn't, you know, whatever. So I know that
Yeah.
they've bought that. That's they you know, fundraise. This is their big fundraiser every year. They take the proceeds and the profits from this fundraiser and do something charitable with it. So we always kind of call it these kind of events are drinking for good.
Sure.
So it's always a
Yeah.
good time. We meet some friends there every year, and it's just a
Okay.
thing. But yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So
Nice.
it'll be over by the time you guys see this podcast. But
Yeah.
you know, we always Ron and I look for when we're going to go out, and we don't do that often, but it's usually a charitable kind of connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we're doing
the
that.
Festivals. Right.
Yeah, or the church picnics. We call those our Drinking for Jesus tour.
Okay.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
always a good time.
Yep.
You know.
So back to
reality, you know.
progress.
Yeah.
Crocheting. I'm still crocheting. This is this week's little stack of squares.
Oh my goodness.
For my beaded curtain that
Or
I'm
hippie
making.
curtain.
So, yep. So that's what I got. I got the little mirrors in at the store. Oh, I didn't bring my little box over. I'll get that when you show your work in progress. But I got the little mirrors in to put on it.
Can't wait to see this.
Dozens of packs of these. So yeah. So I have the bigger ones I showed you last week. 16 of those done, and now these are called the cool. These are the hots. These are the cools. According to the pattern, that's how they do them. So that's what else I'm working on. Just those two right now. A little crochet project I'll show you next week. I started at home, but not much to show yet. And I don't know how much I'll be knitting or crocheting in the next week.
Yeah.
We're going gambling this weekend.
Cool.
Gone till Monday, and then Tuesday's my surgery.
Okay.
And then I probably won't be able to knit or crochet for a couple of days.
I would hope, yeah. You gotta
Yeah.
let that heal a little bit.
I'll ask him what he says, you know, because sometimes it's better to use it. You never know.
I don't know.
So, yeah. So, do you have works in progress?
If I'm gonna knit a sweater in a week, what do you think I'm working on?
Oh, okay. Well, I just seen your big bag.
Well, it's only because I have my big bag. I
Okay.
take it everywhere.
Okay.
You know?
Just talk. Pretend as if I'm there.
Well, we can talk about classes.
Yeah, there's one right behind you.
Yes, up there is Waterline. We're going to do a class on Waterline. And we're going to do a class. What else we got? We got Waterline.
Pick a pop.
Oh, Pick a Pop, that cowl, which is fun.
Both
I
of
like-
them I listed on Facebook now.
Okay.
So they're on the Facebook as an event on the Magpie Cottage page.
And we are going to do a mystery series. She talked me into it. But this year, the mystery series is different. Last year, we knew it was all household, and that was our theme. And in prior years, we did lots of shawls. Another year, we did accessories. But this year, all hats. And so I have been finding very cool hats. And so the idea behind this is that hat is not a lot of time commitment, but the point is that I'm gonna be looking for hats that have different techniques in it. You know, I mean, just anybody can knit your basic ribbed brim hat, you know, cast on using long tail, knit a rib, you know, and then do some stockinette to the top, you know. Anybody can do that. That's not hard. So what we're going to do, though, is look at hat construction differently and what other techniques might be in there. So, yeah, maybe we'll have, I don't know, I haven't picked all the patterns yet, so don't take this as gospel, all right? But, you know, maybe we'll do something with cables, but different cables, not your standard one twist cable. Maybe we'll do different cast-ons. Maybe we'll do different constructions. Maybe we'll do, I don't know. I'm just finding unique things about hats that will give us techniques that we haven't necessarily used. One thing I thought about, and I don't know if we talked about it. Did we talk about helical?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, helical. Well, I've never done helical in a sweater, but I think it might be easier to do helical in a sweater if I did it in a hat first.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know exactly. I haven't did any of the hats yet, so okay, I got to get my button gear, but it'll all be hats and different ways of doing hats. So
Well, that'll
that's,
start in October.
Yep.
Every Saturday, first Saturday of the month starting in October.
yeah.
And speaking of hats, I got the brand new, hot off the press, Woolly Wormhead Knit Hats book. Now, she's very popular for her Woolly Wormhead hat, but she has a whole book of hats. You see some of them there. You see some more of them on the back. So I have these for sale in the shop. They're $24.95. And it's, yeah, a nice book. It's got that funny texture. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
these. You know, like a lot of the like pom-pom and interpretations, they have these now. So that was new in the shop this week. The mirrors I showed you already. Oh, I got these beads. I have to have somebody try them. The beads from where I usually get beads for shawls and everything, their minimum order went up, and I truthfully don't sell enough beads to buy that minimum order, I don't think. So I tried these from where I get all my other notions from, and I'm not sure the holes are consistent enough. I'll take this tube and I'll open it, and I'll try sticking in the 1.0 crochet hook, and I'll try going through every bead and see if it works on all of them. Then if it does, I'll buy more. But right now I just bought 3 tubes of this pink to start out.
Well, it would work on a beetle.
Yeah, the beetles are smaller. So I'll tell, I mean, most of them look good.
They look okay.
Yeah, they are.
It's pretty color.
They're from Czech. Well, this
they're
is from
Czech beads.
Yeah, they're Czech beads.
And you know, their Czech beads are usually good, and the Japanese beads are usually pretty good.
Cause see, where I get mine from has been bought out by Czech beads. So actually, the old ones are from Czech beads too. And now this says Beater's Paradise on them, made in Czech. So I think they'll work, but we'll see. I'm going to test them for you so you don't have to. And then I got a whole bunch of zippers. Remember I showed those mosaic purses?
Your crocheted purse, yeah.
Yeah, so I got a whole bunches of colors and sizes, and so I'm all ready. And most of them are pretty cheap. Like this is a blue jean one made with brass, and it's $2.50.
Oh, goodness.
I think there's one that's $5, but a lot of them are only $2. So yeah, none of them are real expensive, so they'll be good for doing those little mosaic purses.
Yeah, you got a class coming up on that too.
Right. I don't know if that's a goal, because I think I only have one person signed up. So I think I'm going to redo it, though, in September. August is a little hard. July and August is hard to sell.
Well, people are
class.
busy. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have any new yarn this week. I just have notions came in. So.
Okay. You know, I'm thinking about this class thing. If you ever really want a class on something, all you got to do is put a note in the comments. You see all the comments. Sometimes, you know, Joanne and I sit here and we talk about what do we want to do for a class. And, you know, we don't really know sometimes.
I do have one suggestion up there. Somebody wants the entrelac pillow class.
Okay.
So we have to add that in.
Okay. I have not did that.
Nope. Okay.
I guess I'll have to figure out how to do. I know how to do entrelac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's best with self-striping. I've used the Universal Classic shades, because then like each square or 2 squares are a different color as you go. It looks kind of cool.
Can you use like a Zelber ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
The pattern I have is using worsted weight.
Oh.
But, well, we have the edition 3, or you could use the sesame.
Oh, that would work.
Look really cool.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, and you could do it in summer sesame if you want cotton, or regular sesame if you want wool. Or you could do the painted sky.
Painted sky would be nice.
Yeah. So, so we'll be having an entrelac pillow class also beginning of October probably.
Okay. I guess I should try to knit it.
Yeah.
Unless you're planning on teaching that one.
I can, but I have the sample, so if you're going to knit it, just do like 2-3 rows to get used to it, and then leave it in progress.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll keep the classes coming now. Watch the website. I will try to get them on Facebook. You know, through that whole COVID thing, kind of got out of practice for the classes. Now I'm getting back in the swing. I got making posters, getting it on Facebook. I sent the class to the Chamber of Commerce, so they they forwarded it on their Facebook.
Yeah, and like Knitting 101 is perfect for something like that. Yeah. You know?
Yep. So I didn't have anybody ask for Knitting 101 lately that I remember, but I do have somebody with crochet. So I'll put a crochet one out there too.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, so watch for classes. They'll be on the website is the main place. You can sign up on the website. You sign up for a class, come in and tell me you signed up for the class. All your materials will be 10% off.
Yeah, that's a nice deal.
Yep.
So what else we got today?
Nothing. That's all I got.
Wow.
Look at all my stuff, and I got a mess.
Okay.
Well, usually you got like 6 projects to show, so.
It's been a busy week.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked on this mostly.
Yeah.
And then I gave my test knit a little bit of love, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I wanted this done. This was, you know, I wanted it done by Sunday because I was knitting it during the Olympics. I watched the Olympics. And so this is my Olympic project. So the closing ceremonies are Sunday. So I want it done by Sunday. That's just, it is what it is. So, yeah. And then next week, so then my plan, I got a plan.
Okay.
My calendar, my knitting, I have a knitting calendar. Should do that. You get a lot done that way. Really, I'm serious because I always know what project is next, and I'm always winding yarn a week ahead. So,
Yeah, so you're ready?
so I'm ready, and I have my knitting kind of. Okay, so I finished this. Then the next thing I have to finish up my test knit. I'm on the body. I may be that far, so that won't take long.
Yeah.
And then after that, I am going to knit the wrap for using the yarn from the last year's Leading Men retreat.
Oh, okay.
The one that Lori knit. I'm going to knit that.
Okay.
Because they're having a knit along with it. So I thought, well, I should do that knit along. Because I plan to knit it, and the yarn is Diva. Hey.
Oh, that stuff is so nice.
Love it. So I have 2 other skeins of Diva that I was going to do a shawl, and then I changed my mind about the shawl. So I have literally 2 skeins of Diva it's like a ivory colored with speckles. And I have no idea what this yarn wants to be, but gosh, I can't, I want to knit it. It's wound, it's ready to go, but I don't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
So
We talk about Diva, and I believe it's 85 merino, 15 silk.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so nice.
And it's
Yeah.
it's got a beautiful sheen to it from the
Yeah.
silk. It's
Yeah.
just this lovely, lovely yarn. It's by Leading Men. Yeah, it's one of my favorite yarns. So I guess I kind of am a huge Leading Men fan. I mean, for an indie dyed yarn, that would be my probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
all
I
right.
guess that's that.
We're kind of done. Talked out today.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Have a good week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.